There was a house on Elm Street that had stood for over a century. It was a grand old mansion with tall, Gothic windows and a wrought iron gate that surrounded the property. But despite its beauty, there was something eerie about the house. It was said to be haunted by the ghost of a young girl who had died in the house many years ago. The villagers avoided the house, and it had been empty for as long as anyone could remember. But one day, a young couple, John and Sarah, decided to buy the house and fix it up. They were determined to turn the haunted house into a beautiful home. As soon as they moved in, strange things began to happen. They would hear footsteps in the hallway when no one was there, and doors would open and close on their own. Sarah would wake up in the middle of the night to find the ghostly figure of a young girl standing at the foot of her bed. John and Sarah tried to ignore the strange occurrences, but they couldn't shake the feeling that they were not alone in the house. They began to see the ghost of the young girl more and more frequently, and soon they realized that she was not just a figment of their imagination. One night, as they were lying in bed, they heard a loud banging on the front door. When they went to investigate, they found the ghost of the young girl standing on the porch. She was holding a bloody dagger and had a crazed look in her eyes. John and Sarah knew they had to get out of the house, but the ghost was blocking their way. They fought with all their might, but the ghost was too powerful. In the end, they were forced to flee the house, leaving everything they had behind. From that day on, the house on Elm Street stood empty once again. The villagers avoided the house, and no one dared to go near it. They say that the ghost of the young girl still haunts the house, waiting for her next victims. Years went by, and no one dared to buy that house. It became a legend, a place people talked about to scare each other. But some say, on a dark night, you can still hear the screams of the young couple coming from the house on Elm Street, and the ghost of the young girl is still there, waiting with her bloody dagger. Rysoup2199, Gmail. More. As the years went by, the legend of the haunted house on Elm Street only grew stronger. People in the village would tell stories of strange noises and ghostly sightings, and many claimed to have had personal experiences with the ghost of the young girl. Despite the warnings, a group of teenagers decided to investigate the house for themselves. They were curious about the legend and didn't believe that the house was truly haunted. They broke into the house on a dark and stormy night and soon regretted their decision. As soon as they entered the house, they were hit with a feeling of dread. The air was thick and heavy, and they could hear whispers and moans coming from all around them. They were also greeted by the ghost of the young girl, who appeared before them with an angry and vengeful look in her eyes. The teenagers tried to run, but the ghost seemed to be everywhere. She chased them through the halls and rooms of the house, her laughter echoing through the empty halls. They were trapped, and they knew that they were in grave danger. In a desperate attempt to escape, the teenagers stumbled upon a hidden room in the basement. Inside, they found a journal belonging to the young girl who had died in the house. They read about her tragic life and discovered that she had been brutally murdered by her own family. They finally understood why the ghost of the young girl was so angry and vengeful. They apologized to her spirit and promised to tell the village about her story and put her soul to rest. The teenagers managed to escape the house, but they were forever changed by their experience. They went to the village and shared the story of the young girl and her tragic death. From that day on, the village held a memorial for the young girl, and the house on Elm Street was finally left in peace. However, some say that on a dark and stormy night, if you dare to go near the house on Elm Street, you can still hear the ghostly whispers and moans coming from within, and the ghost of the young girl still haunts the place, waiting for someone to finally uncover the truth about her death and give her the justice she deserved.